Lord Bernhard TV.
What's going on, baby? Bringing you my favorite retro console of all time. Now, this is brought to you by SNK, the Neo Geo. Right, let's start. Let's get a glimpse of this big beast right here. See if we can get that in the camera. Let it focus. That big beast, Neo Geo consoleized MVS system. And this is the controller. For those that are not familiar with it, let it focus. Right there, alright? Put this bad boy right there. This is gonna break the table, damn it. Now, before I get into it, let me just do a brief story. Back in high school, class was over, school was out. I normally go to the corner store, right? So I go to the corner store. This particular day, I go in there, I see this red machine. So I asked the clerk, what the hell, what is that? He's like, I don't even know. It's just some new machine. Go check it out. So, you know what I'm saying? He gives me some quarters to play. So, I go, and as soon as I walk over there, I hear this music. It's like feudal Japan, and cherry blossoms falling down the screen, and Harumaru cutting the screen in half. I was hooked. I'm like, damn, I didn't even play the game, but this looked like some badass shit. So anyway, I put my quarters and I start playing. And I'm getting whooped. I mean, they hit you one time, took half your bar. I'm like, damn, I never played anything like this. I'm used to getting hit 100 times and still living. Now, 2 to 3 hits, match is done. Over. But anyway, I'm getting good at the game now. I'm sitting there, I'm playing, I'm doing my thing. I'm feeling myself. I'm brushing my shoulders. Woo, I'm new in. Yeah, you know what I mean? But while I'm playing this particular day, this kid from school I didn't even know, he comes into the door. I thought the Lord entered. He entered, I heard, whoa. He's gliding over to the machine. He comes next to me, he looks at me and he smirks. So I look at him, I'm like, what you want? You want some of this? He just smiles. He's like, sure. So he puts his quarter in, ching, the credits, hits the button, and I'm like, it's on. Start playing. Smack my ass across the score. Match over, 5 seconds flat. So I'm embarrassed as shit. And I'm like, what the? I said, yo, how long have you been playing this game? I just heard about this. He's like, man, I got this at home. I'm going home to play this right now. I said, what? You're going home to play this right now? Meanwhile, I'm rocking, so I forgot what system I had, but there was no comparison to the graphics of the system. This system right here, this Neo Geo, at the time, came out in 1990. At that time, had the best graphics for a console, for a system rather. So I'm like, where'd you get it from? And he's like, he gave me all the information. So I go look it up, and wow, the price tag smacked me across the face. I saw the price tag almost sharded in my pants. That price tag at that time, $650 US in the 90s. Holy shit! Not a lot of people had this system, this Neo Geo. Not a lot of people because of that. Right now, though, it's a very popular system. It's very sought after in the collectors' libraries. And still, some people don't even have the full collection because these games, oh, matter of fact, let me show you a game. Now, this is a cheap game. I only paid, I had to get the classic game where I got smacked on. It's Samurai Showdown, if you can see how big that is. Let it focus. Samurai Showdown 2, you put that bad boy in there. That cost me like $24. But I mean, games run from $24 all the way up to like $1,000. Very hard. Some of them are very hard to find. But anyhow, where was I? Train of thought. Let me get back on it. I was talking about how great the system was, how expensive it was. Yeah, it was expensive, man. So anyway, I went later on in life, years down the road. I ain't aging myself. I'm young. All the time. But I went into a game store and I saw this black box like staring at me. I'm like, yo, what is that? They had it in a glass case. He's like, yo, that's the Neo Geo MVS. It's the arcade unit put inside of a casing right here. This was made by Omega. It's called the Omega, rather. I said I have to have it, you know. So he gave me. I'm not gonna tell you the price, but he gave me a very excellent price, very dirt cheap actually for it. He hooked me up. He hooked Crying Gamer up years ago with this system. Shout out. And I've been hooked ever since. I'm loving it. I love it. I love the system. It has games like Samurai Showdown. Has games like Metal Slug, Last Blade 2, and a host of other games. This console was mostly made up of fighting games. It had a few shooters, side-scrolling shooters. Meanwhile, people were playing Contra, but Metal Slug puts Contra to shame. I don't care what nobody say. Metal Slug is the shit when it comes to a side-scrolling shooter and a top-down shooter also. It was what is it called? Shock Troopers? That's also another one. Beautiful, beautiful game. The artwork that SNK did with their games was beautiful. It was a testament to the system and the power of the system at the time that it came out. Of course, there's a hold the candle graphically to these systems now, but these things have character. It's like older things. Some of the older stuff, they have character, and this is what this system has: character. You know, when you play it, it feels unique. You know, back when you had a system, each system was different from one another. Especially, let me digress a little bit to the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. When you got a game for the Genesis, it was different than what it was for the Super Nintendo. That's what I like about that era. You know what I mean? So you knew that even though it was the same game, they weren't downgrading the game for one console or the other. It was what it was. If one was able to run the game better, that's just the way it was. And this game was a beast. A negative to this system, though, it did not have third-party support, or minimal third-party support. The games that some third-parties made it for were actually very good, but it just didn't have the support because it was so expensive. The games ran like more than the system. $400, $600 for games at the time, and nobody was gonna pay that. So it became sort of like a Grey Poupon system. Only the rich, the fortunate had it. But baby, I got it. I don't care how long it took me. It took me double-digit years, but I have it now. So, you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. And for you collectors out there, this is sought after. If you want to start collecting, try to look into getting one of these Neo Geo systems, man. You know, let me put it up on the screen again. Neo Geo. Consoleized system, you know what I mean? So pretty much what this is, for those that don't know, they pretty much take the board out of the arcade cabinet and they put it in this system, make it look all pretty. Mine has a component. Some have HDMI, some have optical out and all that good stuff. So it depends how much money you want to spend on it. You can bring an old school game to your television. You know, it's good. So with that said, this is Crying Gamer's favorite retro system right there, the Neo Geo. Whether it be the AES, the MVS, whatever, my favorite.